able to see that, but he had nowhere to go and went down the process. Unfortunately, Hughes has been riding good in this 250 class.
Okay, it's Emig out in front, number 6 with Dowd, his Yamaha teammate right behind him. There's Brian Swink after that tremendous crash in the qualifying heat. Brian Swink in 3rd place. Jeff Emig has been steadily improving throughout the season. He's out in front right now. There's his mechanic, Steve Butler, looking on. Emig in 1st place, number 6. That's Dowd, Swink, Mike Larocco with a good start, and Kyle Lewis, number 15, behind him.
And this is good news for Jeff Emig. He's got his teammate back there kind of acting as a buffer right now. And last week, Emig got the whole shot, but Jeremy McGrath was right on him from the first lap on. But right now, Jeremy is well back in the pack.
Toying with 10th place as we see the end of the first lap. It's Emig, Dowd, Swink, Larocco, Lewis, Dement, DeHoop, Ward, and then Jeremy McGrath with Mike Kudrowski right behind him.
He's got his work cut out tonight, and on a track this tough, Michael Pichon has proved that with the right combination, you can come from dead last to win this thing, and I think McGrath possesses all the tools to do just that.
Right now, it's Jeff Emig coming off a 2nd place finish right behind Jeremy in his last race. These whoops now looking a little more treacherous as the bikes wear them down.
They're treacherous, but one thing I noticed is the riders are able to go anywhere on the racetrack. It's not a one-line situation, and right now, Larocco is already starting to put a lot of pressure on Brian Swink.
Brian Swink making the move on Dowd as well for 2nd place. Brian Swink into 2nd place. Oh, what an accomplishment for this Honda of Troy rider who had such a rough time of it in the qualifying heats, and he's right on the tail of Jeff Emig.
Swink knows he's got to get around, put some riders between he and Larocco, or he's going to have company. And right there, Larocco goes around Dowd and is back on the tail of Brian Swink. This is shaping up to be a great battle for the lead.
Swinkster like DeHoop is from Michigan. A lot of fans on his side as Larocco really putting some heat from the rear on Brian Swink. Swink, though, holding his own pretty well side by side with Larocco, and he's got the momentum on the jump.
Over the triple, and John Dowd is hanging pretty close with these guys. You know, I haven't seen John Dowd up this far in a main event, and I haven't seen him up this far for very long either. He seems to be riding extremely well. And I think Dowd is another one of those types of riders, kind of like Pichon, where the tougher the racetrack is, the tougher he is.
Emig holding his own, but Swink is right behind him, and the crowd is going crazy with this matchup. They'd love to see their native son take over the lead in this race.
Swink has worked his way into 2nd and has actually closed on Jeff Emig, and Swink has the strength to muscle around this racetrack. Through that whoop section, he's just holding it wide open, muscling it through there, kind of like what we used to see from Jeff Stanton.
A big hats off to the mechanical crew for Brian Swink, too, getting that bike ready after landing on top of the starting gate during the qualifying heat. Brian Swink has had a good time at this track, especially when he was on the 125 scene. He won 3 out of the 4 125 events he ran in the Silver Dome, and he's holding his own right now in 2nd place. His best finish this year, a 6th place in Seattle. Kudrowski has moved in front of McGrath. They've got quite a little battle going on behind Kyle Lewis, number 15. McGrath trying to catch up. Here's the box. Oh, he knocks Kudrowski down, and then he runs over Kyle Lewis.
Well, he's a freight train. He's been winning all the races, and right there, he runs over everybody. Watch, he comes in here, he runs into the side of Kudrowski, runs over his foot, then he runs over Lewis's foot and his elbow. I don't think that was, might have been his funny bone. I don't think Lewis thinks it's very funny, and now Henry's into the picture.
Well, that's one place, one time, where the soft soil in Detroit will help you out.
Well, I think so, but it doesn't feel good when you have a motorcycle running over you. That's unfortunate for Lewis. He looked like he might have been able to save that, and then McGrath ran over his foot and took him down.
Suzuki Field summary. Emig, Swink, and Larocco. Welcome back to the Silver Dome. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Jerry Bernardo working down in the pits right now as we see Emig still out in front. Brian Swink, number 10, in 2nd place with Larocco right on his fender. A good 3-way battle up front.
I think Larocco has the confidence to move around these guys, and right now he's probably keeping tabs on where McGrath is, and McGrath isn't even in the picture, so I think that might have something to do with Larocco taking his time.
Whoa, Brian Swink, nice inside move, takes the lead. Everybody's standing on their feet here in this Silver Dome as they see their local favorite get out in front. Jerry Bernardo's in the pits with Brian Swink's mechanic.
Brian Swink just brought up a great roar from the crowd by moving into first past Jeff Emig. Yeah, made a pretty good pass on him over there. It's still a lot of race to go, so he's got to relax and try and open up a comfortable lead here.
Tell us what the pit board said.
Confidence wins.
That's what we like to hear. Hope the best for you.
Brian Swink trying to regain the confidence he had a couple of years ago when he made the podium the last time in Seattle. Take another look at the pass by Swink on Emig.
Well, Emig doesn't leave a whole lot of room, and somehow Swink finds some and takes the lead from the inside. Then he flies to this whoop section and opens up a pretty good lead.
You see number 25, DeHoop, another local favorite, in 4th place. Look at the line by LaRocco.
He's going high up around that berm, and he's able to get over that double right there. He's just trying to stay out of the ruts. The ruts develop all the way across, and they're going to start getting deeper and deeper, and it looks like he's just working the track inside, outside, trying to find a way around Emig.
Swink, Emig, and a great battle with LaRocco. Jeremy McGrath back in a battle for 5th place right now. LaRocco is putting the heat on Jeff Emig. Good momentum, leaps by Emig. Can Jeff come back in the whoops? Now LaRocco holding on.
So LaRocco doing what he does best, moving through the pack, closes in on Brian Swink, our leader. As you take a look at the replay, Art, it looks like Emig just can't get over this triple right here into the corner, possibly the ruts, and LaRocco jumps right over the top of him. From our angle, it looked a lot closer than it actually was.
Still looked like a gamble by LaRocco the way he landed up near the top. Here's Jeremy McGrath moving into 6th place. McGrath has moved up the order a bit now, but he's still not riding as smooth as we're used to seeing Jeremy McGrath.
Well, as I mentioned in the 125, this track is making the pros look like amateurs. And it's not just the ruts. It's that soil. It's so soft. It soaks up all your momentum, forces you to be precise. And that's what McGrath is usually good at doing. But he's having to come from behind. That usually takes you out of your rhythm. And right now, he's struggling.
Nature's way to put on the brakes, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Great shot of the ruts. Brian Swink hitting it perfect as he goes over the finish line jump. He still has a pretty good lead on Mike LaRocco in 2nd place. Our 3rd place rider is Jeff Emig, and then he's followed by DeHoop, Dowd, and then Jeremy McGrath.
And McGrath isn't that far behind these guys. He's had a lot of problems so far, but he can look up the track not too far and see the leaders, and that's got to give him inspiration.
DeHoop's best finish on the year was a 13th. He and Dowd both with good runs. This could be their best race of the year.
You're right, Art, but I think they're going to get dropped one more position because McGrath caught him fast. And there he goes to the inside of Dowd already.
Jeremy setting up Dowd, and now is taken after DeHoop. Swink, LaRocco, Emig, DeHoop, our order. The 250s continue to rumble here in the Silverdome. Round 10 of the U.S. Supercross Series. From Pontiac, Michigan, we're seeing toward the back of the pack now Jeremy McGrath making his attempt to get back into the competitive range as he takes on Todd DeHoop, number 25. This is a battle for 4th position. And write it down. Jeremy moves into 4th with Jeff Emig right in front of him.
And we're around the halfway mark, and if Jeremy wants to win this race, he's got to make his move now.
Here's LaRocco taking on Brian Swink for the lead. LaRocco, great positioning. He timed it perfect. LaRocco, our new leader. Brian Swink in 2nd place. Emig in 3rd, with Jeremy McGrath now in 4th.
These guys both have a pretty good lead on the rest of the field right now. You can see there how rutted everything is, and it's really forcing these riders. Actually, it looks like they're riding a little conservative to me, Art. I've seen LaRocco and Brian Swink, for that matter, go a lot faster than they are right now, but they're going fast enough. They have a great lead on the rest of the pack.
Brian Swink trying not to let LaRocco get away from him here, after LaRocco making the pass for the lead.
Brian's a fighter. He's the kind of guy that can respond to somebody coming up and adjust his pace and go that much faster.
From our Honda berm cam, we see them swing around and back to Jeremy McGrath now. Jeremy is on the move, approaching Jeff Emig. McGrath had labored by 6 riders and makes contact with Emig, sends Emig flying. That's a dangerous spot to be down on the ground as Emig trying to pick up the bike, and Henry comes back over the wheel. Henry
lands right on his front wheel, and you're right, he's in a blind spot right there. The riders can't see him. I'm sure the flaggers are on top of the scene now, but that was some scary moments there for Jeff Emig. Here's a look at what happened. It seems like Jeremy was committed to jumping that jump. Emig couldn't do it, and he just pushed the bike right out from underneath him. And then Jeremy did a nice job of dodging John Dowd, who jumped over him and the motorcycle of Jeff Emig.
So right now, it's Todd DeHoop and Kudrowski in front of McGrath.
So Kudrowski, who had lost a position to Jeremy and slid a few back, has gained all that back up, and now another mistake from Jeremy McGrath, and his timing is all off. This looks a lot like Atlanta.
Boy, this could have some ramifications as far as the point standings are concerned, with LaRocco out in front. And Jeremy in 7th position. There's only 25 points separating the two in the point standings.
Well, that would take away about 11 points right there, and that's, like we mentioned at the top of the show, that's exactly what LaRocco's hoping to accomplish, and it could happen here tonight.
Jeremy's not going to be complacent, though, and here he's dueling with Todd DeHoop. DeHoop was able to do a nice job of holding the Kawasaki's back in the semifinal round, but can't stop the hard-charging number 1.
Jeremy's determined in this race to try to get back to the front. He's still riding pretty aggressive. He's making some mistakes, but so is everybody.
And we take a look from the Honda berm cam as we see number 2, the guy who snapped Jeremy McGrath's win streak of 5, is about ready to do it again after Jeremy won 2. Now, Mike Kudrowski makes the move on John Dowd, number 14. Kudrowski, a slow start, but he's been making his way up through the pack.
Well, Pontiac has its way of really making races kind of turn out weird. And I can remember getting a bad start, falling down 3 times, and still getting a 6th. So it's really odd. Mike Craig right there was dead last. Remember that? He was dead last in the first corner. Now he's running 3rd.
Outstanding performance by Michael Craig, who's been very smooth ever since that first turn mishap with Ryan Hughes when he went down right in front of Ryan. And Ryan is not too far behind these two. Mike Kudrowski had 2 fourth-place finishes after his 3rd straight Daytona victory, trailing number 19, Michael Craig. Let's go down to Jerry Bernardo in the pits with the Honda of Troy team.
Mike Craig's running in 3rd right now with one of the factory Kawasaki boys, Mike Kudrowski, behind him. Is it another case of what DeHoop did earlier? Think he'll be able to hold him off?
I don't think he's worried about holding him off. He knows he can beat him. He ain't worried about who's behind him. He just has to go in front of him and worry about who's in front of him and pass them. Behind him is no problem.
That's smart racing.
Yeah.
Number 7, Mike Kudrowski, currently in 4th position, but is riding very smooth. His teammate, Mike LaRocco, still out in front. In fact, he's pulling a pretty good lead. Here's John Dowd and Jeremy McGrath. This is a battle for 6th spot.
McGrath has had a pretty wild ride so far. He was as far up as 4th at one point, and here he is trying to get past Dowd again. And big mistake by Jeremy. And you know, LaRocco's out there leading this race, and this is really good news. When Jeremy has a bad day, boy, he has a bad day. Here's a replay. He just got crossed up in the ruts, and then he hit more ruts, and he was lucky to stay on the racetrack.
Jeremy McGrath, with 7 wins on the year, has missed the podium twice, the 7th place in Daytona and the 4th place in Atlanta. Right now, number 1 is in 6 positions. We take a look at the Suzuki field summary. LaRocco, Swink, Craig, and Kudrowski out in front. We're back in the Silverdome. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Jerry Bernardo as we're taking a look at Jeremy McGrath. This has not been his night. Mike LaRocco has a gigantic chance of picking up many points on the leader, Jeremy McGrath. Well, LaRocco is out in front as McGrath is taking John Dowd, now moving into 5th position.
John Dowd, as he came through the corner before that triple, just about went over the handlebars twice on the double jumps, couldn't do the triple, and Jeremy was able to just jump it. It really wasn't anything spectacular on Jeremy's part there. He just took advantage of the mistakes by Dowd.
Jeremy, though, is going to have to smooth out his ride and pick up some seconds if he's going to catch the rampaging number 2, LaRocco.
You know, I think Jeremy's pretty patient on nights like this. He realizes it's not coming together. He's not going to stress out about it. He'll just salvage all the points he can. He realizes he woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and you know, if he tries any harder, he might end up on the ground and lose even more points. So he'll probably just take it in from here.
Kudrowski, fighting back from early troubles, goes after Craig with 5 laps to go in the race. This is the battle for 3rd. Number 7 and number 19. Kudrowski with a good clean move.
Good clean move. We've seen a lot of passing there tonight. That's where Swink took the lead over Emick right there. And now Kudrowski, who was once behind Jeremy all the way back in like 10th, 11th place, has found himself in 3rd spot.
Under his new mechanic, Brian Lennis, Mike Kudrowski's been trying all kinds of new techniques to try and get his speed up to supercross standards. We all know he's got a rough and tough, nice style in the outdoors with his many championships. Right now, he's looking for his 4th podium appearance. Let's go to Jerry.
Never say die attitude. Just put Mike K into 3rd.
Yeah, it's like running pretty good, plus Swink is not that far in front of him, so there's 3 laps left coming up, so we'll see what happens there.
We like to hear positive thinking, but you never know with this crazy motocross stuff.
No, especially a track like this is like a cider bike.
That's it. Thanks.
Right. What was he talking about, David?
I have no idea.
Out in front, number 2, as we go through the lap.